students, it's time. It is time for your music appreciation lesson. Let's do a little dance.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
I'm feeling it. There you go. I'm feeling it. Oh, wait a second. Who's that special guest we have today? Why, that is Andre Meggerson. Andre, say what's up to the class.
Greetings, class. How are y'all feeling?
Excellent. So, class, Andre Meggerson is one of my best friends. One of my bestest friends in the whole entire world. Andre and I met at Great America, which is a theme park here in Santa Clara, California. Andre was a performer. I won't tell you what kind of performer he was. I won't tell you what kind of performer I was, because you can talk to us whenever we see you at school or something like that.
Yeah.
But Andre and I met performing together, basically on stage, and we've been friends ever since. And that is because of the power of music and the power of the performing arts. So everybody, warm round of applause for Andre.
You guys are loud. Wow, that's a good round of applause.
That was great. And there's even some standing ovations. I love that. That's perfect. So, boys and girls, Andre comes to you in his house. But before he got there, he was in a show called STOMP. Andre, what is STOMP?
STOMP is an amazing Broadway show where we take inanimate objects and make music out of them and give a, 90-minute performance? No, not that long. 45-minute performance, playing with instruments that wouldn't normally be played with, and make music out of them.
So what you're telling me is that you create music out of ordinary found household objects like sinks, brooms,
plungers, brooms, poles, trash cans, lids. What else do we have? Tubes. There's a vast array of things, yes.
What about, do you make music using just your body and stuff?
As well as our bodies, yes. We do a lot of body percussion as well, yes.
Dre, like this?
You gotta be a little louder. Yes, like
Wait,
that.
How about like this? Oh, there we go.
There we go. That's it.
Boys and girls, can you do this? This is called a one-handed clap. I don't even know what this is called.
It's really fast.
So what you're saying is this is a show that was performed on a stage that you had like a cast of how many people?
We had a cast of 8 people.
And you all got together on stage, and each of you played a specific part, and it became a song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's 8 of us. We each had our role, and each individual playing our part created a whole ensemble of music together. So we actually played as one while being our individual selves.
I love that. Now, when you're on stage and when you're performing in STOMP, are you like, what, do you also act on stage as well?
Absolutely. We act because we interact with each other. It's a constant live show. So whatever happens, the audience gets to see and participate in. So we break that, I believe it's called the 4th wall or the 5th wall. I forget the name of the wall. One of those walls. When you're watching a show, when you actually are engaged and you're in the audience, you're actually part of the show.
I love it. I love it. So not only do you have a background in music, but you also had a background in acting.
Yes. Very small. Yes.
Now, Andre, take us to when you first auditioned to be in STOMP. Like, do you have a background in music? Like, what's your performance art background?
Yeah, so I am a percussionist. I play hand drums. My first drum was a djembe. I did play a little bit of kit, which I know you're amazing at. So, and then body percussion, I learned a little bit from stepping when I was younger in middle school for the most part. And I also played saxophone in elementary school. I don't play it anymore, yet I did play saxophone, which was an amazing experience. I wasn't the best at saxophone, yet the band that I played in middle school was amazing. So that was my background for the most part in music specifically.
I love it. And what inspired you to want to audition and perform on this huge show called STOMP? I mean, you've been around the world, but I can only imagine the nerves that you had just to like go and audition for such a huge show like that.
Besides you inspiring me, everybody around me, we had a great support system going on for Stomp. So Stomp came about. Luckily, we saw the show a month before I went and auditioned. That was my first time seeing the show. And the irony of that is, I actually have the VHS. If kids, you know what VHSs are, those are before DVDs. I have the VHS recording of what's called an HBO special of Stomp that I watched as a kid when I was probably around very young, because I think it was in 1996 or 1998 it was recorded. So probably before any of you guys were here, there was a Broadway show that was recorded, and I remember watching that and wishing that I could be on that stage with those amazing performers. And then, long time after, I had that opportunity.
I love it. That is so awesome. So, your experience with growing up playing saxophone in elementary school, your experience with stepping,
Hmm.
all really came together when you got to audition with Stomp. And with the show like Stomp, boys and girls, they went all across the entire world, and they even got a chance to perform at schools as well. And Dre, tell us one of your most memorable experiences with Stomp.
My most memorable experiences for me, I love touring the world. The cast is phenomenal. Everybody that plays different roles and parts are amazing artists. For me, my most memorable was actually a deaf school. I believe it was in Pennsylvania. Because I studied American Sign Language, it was a part time for me to practice signing with other people, as well as we got to perform for them. And when you're performing for a deaf school, I learned something, that they had all had balloons, and I was really intrigued as, why do they have balloons? Because we're playing music and we're playing it live, so there's no amplified music occurring in their amphitheater. They had balloons because that's the way they can best feel our vibrations when we're playing the music, and that was so shocking to me. And the kids loved it. Like, it was amazing to see everybody light up with a sea of people holding balloons, which was very unique to us. But that was my most memorable experience. I actually think I have a T-shirt from that school, because I was so like in awe over all the amazing students. And most of them, luckily, were actually musicians as well. So they also played music. And the interesting part is, similar to Beethoven, they weren't able to hear, yet they could play music. So that was a beautiful experience for me. And I remember that very, very well. It was so amazing.
Oh my goodness. My mind is blown right now. So, what you're telling me is this school for the deaf, they can't hear, boys and girls. Deaf means you can't hear. They're born that way. And these kids were sitting there, I imagine, watching you go crazy on the drums, on the trash cans. They can't hear what's going on, but they can visually see what's going on, and they can actually feel with that balloon what's happening. That is incredible. I absolutely love that. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that story with us, because I think that's just incredibly inspirational
Yeah.
for the kids out there and for the students. Despite um, how you're born, how you're brought into this world. If you're deaf, if you're blind, you can overcome all odds to do what you passionately feel that you're meant to do. And uh, Dre, you can't really tell. Dre is a massive man. He is. How do I explain it? Dre is like the Incredible Hulk. He is huge, but he's got the most gentle heart you the most gentle heart, the most caring person ever. And something about Dre is, on the outside, you see he can be strong, a little scary with his beard, but deep down inside, he has such a soft heart for people, for community, for sharing love, and I think that's really what makes Dre so special, and what makes him performing in Stomp when he did so special. Dre and I both shared the stage together all the time, actually, so
Yes.
I get to see Dre a lot. But having his presence on the stage is definitely needed. Now, Dre, something about you that the boys and girls do not know, and I bet you most of the world doesn't know, is that you are the fastest crocheter west of the Mississippi. Is this true?
Not the fastest. I'm one of the fastest. Yes. I'm not the fastest yet. it's a work in progress.
So explain to the kids. I know this has nothing to do with music, but I just want the kids to know, what is crocheting?
So crocheting is similar to knitting. Normally, most people know knitting, which is two needles. Crocheting is a single hook, and with that single hook, you can make garments, whether it be hats, scarves, washcloths, blankets. There actually is a really young kid, I believe his name's Noah, that actually is an amazing crochet artist as well. He's tribute that's about the same age, maybe a little bit older than the kids in the class. So crocheting just another art form that you normally will see like grandparents doing it, but for me, I'm not a grandparent yet, so it's something that brings me great joy, and it's just another way of artistic expression. It's a way that we can take string and create a vast amount of objects with it. So it's pretty awesome.
I love it. So the reason why I bring that up is because Dre is not only creative with his arts or with his performance in music and stuff, but he can also use his creative energies to create things out of crocheting. And so backstage, Dre will be sitting down, resting his body because the show is extremely intense. And when you rest your body for the next show, he's sitting there in peace and serenity doing his crocheting and creating things. He can literally look at your head and make a beanie for you in less than 5 minutes.
We'll say about 20 minutes to be safe. Give me a
It
buffer
seems
for a
like
break.
5 minutes. I love it. I love it. Now, Dre, the kids want to know, have you ever or do you ever get nervous while performing in front of like thousands of people?
For me, I get nervous after I'm done, which sounds different for most people. I have friends that are amazing performers, such as yourself, and they get nervous before performing. For me, my nerves normally are after, because I always look to make sure I do my best. And in doing my best, I get to reflect on my performance when I'm finished. So I don't necessarily get nervous before. I don't really never get nervous during, because I'm in the moment, I'm enjoying it, and playing music and performing is such a amazing feeling. So normally my nerves come after, and me wondering, was that enjoyed by everybody, and hopefully that I inspired somebody. That's where the nerves come in for me. It's like hopefully I inspired just one person, whether it be a kid or adult, just to follow whatever dream that they depict, whether it be an astronaut, a veterinarian, a sanitation engineer, whatever, an artist, a painter, whatever that may be, just to see that sparkle of somebody doing their passion and that showing up for themselves in reflection. So I don't necessarily get nervous before. Mine comes after. It's like, oh, are we done yet? Okay, now I can be nervous.
I love that. Kids, I want you to realize what Dre just said right now, in that he gets nervous afterwards because he's more concerned about people's hearts and if they were inspired by what happened on that stage. And just like I said a few moments ago, Dre has a gentle heart. And so, because of that, he cares for the audience after the show. Now, I thought you were going to say that you were nervous after the show because people coming up to you and wanting to give high fives and you didn't want to talk to anybody afterwards, but it's the exact opposite. You're hoping people come up to you and tell you
Yeah.
that they've been inspired, right?
Well, I'm hoping that people enjoyed it and it inspires them. So yes, I'm hoping, because for me, it's very rare we see performers and actually understand that they are people too, regardless if they're seen as famous or they're on stage. Very rarely, when they're on stage, you get to actually enjoy them after and have a conversation. Realize that we're all just people at the end of the day. At the same time, we have an ability to utilize our talent for sharing whatever that may look like for other people. So yes, no, I love the high fives and the hugs as much as we can get for the most part after the effect, and also getting good feedback too to see how we can be better and grow and make shows even better for people too, because some amazing ideas come out after the show of people like, oh, I wish you guys would have did this, and I was like, okay, well, we'll add that in and see how that works. So it's that's a beautiful time. That's probably where my nervousness comes, because it's always getting the feedback.
Yeah, Dre is never satisfied with his performance. Dre is always wanting to improve on the performance.
Mhm.
Even when we get done doing a show together, it's like, oh, we could have done that better. Oh, we should change this here. You move your foot here. And speaking of foot, Dre
Uh-oh.
is a dancer. Dre is an incredible dancer. And actually, boys and girls, he was on a show called So You Think You Can Dance. So
Mhm.
this show happened many years ago. And Dre, what did you do on that show?
I roller skated on that show for my audition piece.
I love it. I love it. And for you boys and girls, roller skates are kind of like roller blades, but they have, well, no, they have four rollers, right?
Hmm. They're quads, so roller skates are more of in a quad format, two wheels in front, two wheels in back, versus an inline skate would be in a straight inline, similar to a
So
razor scooter.
I'm not good at dancing at all, but and I'm not good at roller skating, but you were awesome at dancing, and you and then you put the roller skates on to do it. That's incredible,
Hmm.
man. Okay, okay, I love it. I love it. Well, Dre, something that the boys and girls out there do not realize is that you are a Disney fanatic. You love
Yes,
Disney.
I do love Disney. Yes,
Tell us how much
Disney
you
is.
love Disney, Dre.
I love it so much I go as much as I can. Currently, it's closed, but when it's open, I go as much as I can because it's a joyous place where that somebody had an idea, which is Walt Disney, to create a space where time necessarily stops and joy can be had. So whatever your dream is, it really can come true, and that gives you the element of what that magic is, and you can see magic just like when you watch a magic show or a magic trick. You're like you wonder how it's done, yet in being in it, it's such an amazing experience. And that's what Disneyland provides to me, and it always gives me ideas as well of how we can do things differently when working with other people and bringing people together as well. So creating community.
I love that. I love that. And I love Disney so much. Now, Dre, tell us if you could be any Disney character, who would you
Ooh.
be and why?
So I would probably pick. The funny thing is, I go to my brothers first and give them their characters before I would pick mine. So I would make sure I don't pick any of their characters, knowing that they wouldn't get to pick them. Rafiki from Lion King would probably be the character that I would pick because he's wise yet funny. He's also inspiring to others as well as supportive. He's like that balance, that nice balanced character. I always think of Genie too, because Genie's one of my favorites, and he's absolutely hilarious. Yet Rafiki's more of like that subtle hilarity for the most part.
Yes,
So
I can
Rafiki.
definitely see you as Rafiki, a very strong Rafiki. That is awesome. Okay, boys and girls, when I count to three, I want you to yell out your favorite Disney movie, okay? And 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 we're gonna find that out. And Dre, you better remember all their favorite Disney movies
The
when you
answer is
see them.
okay.
Okay? You better
So
remember. Here we go.
that means I have to be really loud,
You have to say it
like
super
really
loud.
loud.
One, two, three. All right, pretty good.
Whoa, that's a lot. That's a big list.
I heard The Little Mermaid. I heard The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
I even heard a throwback, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Whoa,
I know, I know. That's going deep.
yeah, that is.
Dre, your favorite Disney movie?
Whoa, I, I like so many of them for all different reasons. I don't know if I have
Okay.
a favorite because they're all so good and give good messages in different ways. And if we watch them over and over again, we'll get different times. So I really enjoy most of the cartoons. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is probably one of my faves because it's a musical, so it's performing in it. There's a little bit of cartoons in there. Yet Aladdin I can watch over and over and over and over again. So
Love
yeah,
it.
that's a tough pick.
That's I know. I kind of threw you on the spot there.
That you did.
Very cool. Well, Dre, I'm sorry to say this, students, but the time has come for the end of class. But we had a great time. And the
Absolutely.
benefit is that we can keep watching this. You can keep watching this video over and over again. So you can see
Hmm.
Dre all the time. That's right. All the time. All the time. So, boys and girls, before we tell Dre goodbye and log off, I want you to give him a thunderous round of applause with your hands and with your feet. With your hands and with your feet, just like Stomp.
Whoa.
Beautiful. Dre,
I
feel that
felt that one.
earthquake?
I
That's
do
the
feel
boys
that.
and girls
Yes.
cheering you on.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
I love it. Dre, thank you so much for spending time with us here today and with the students. They are inspired, they are happy, and they are about to pick up some pots and pans and bang it on the ground. And parents, guardians, you can thank Dre for that
You're
because he
welcome.
provided you that.
All the pots and pans. It's a great way to play music. If you don't have a class for music, you can make your own. And then when you make your own, there's going to be other people that will be willing to make it with you. And that's how we get stronger together.
Love that. Thank you, students, for tuning in here today for class. And I look forward to seeing you all online, stream in, whatever it is, next time.